Count me down.
All right, welcome back. Div 1, Div 2. Let's dive
go.
into it. I'm Mo.
I'm Simon. What's up?
I'm Peeze. In South Beach, I like Key Biscayne.
That was the worst one.
Yeah, that
Worst
was
one.
5 canes! 5 canes!
You tried so hard,
you
though.
tell
I
you're
came
tired.
up with 5 canes, though.
And I am not
Six,
Eagle.
technically.
I am
'Cause you
Terry
can't
Tam.
Okay, let's dive into the week that was.
5.
A game that really caught my attention in Div 1.
Where was he?
Flagmore Stack beating the finals 40-39. Scoreline was not indicative of the FMS toying with a depleted finest roster.
How much of a dent into the finest record this season is this going to be? Like
There are 4 losses, right?
5 now, no?
There are 4. So the last time they were at 4 was
3 and 4.
Yeah, you're right.
the most losses they ever incurred was 2008 when they went 6 and 4. Still went to the finals though.
So now they need to win out. Okay, so Mokan, you're the biggest finest fan of all times. To
Not
be fair, it
really.
was
I
your-
actually didn't pick them.
To be fair, it was your team before. So.
it was my team.
Do you think finest is going to make the playoffs this season?
Yeah, they'll beat Godfat this week. They'll beat them. I just don't know the roster construction is like they're using like cheap material. Seriously, they
Who's
are.
the cheap material?
Frank
No,
Hogue
using
is cheap material, and the guy they have, Felix Morin Faneuf,
Jean-Christophe, no?
whatever his name is. Yeah,
So
it's cheap material.
Whatever his name is.
I have a funny story about Francois Hogue. Actually, it's not about him. It's about someone called Daniel Hogue, because for some reason, even though I played with Francois, I thought his name was Daniel Hogue for a second, so I added him on social media. So I've been following some old guy who I think is Francois Hogue's dad on his vacation. I'm watching all of his Instagram stories. I'm obsessed. The guy lives a good life. He's out there living his best life. Dan Hogue, man.
I'd say they have cheap material, man, playing on this roster. And I know they missed Garrett Taylor, and that's a big loss for their defense because Ken Moore had to play. But what really personified the team's cheap material was there was a play where Kareem Bennett was playing safety, and unfortunately he tripped, and the guy scored a touchdown down the right sideline, right by Olivier Bordage. And then Frank Hogue, for whatever reason, I think he's fed off the emotion of what is mentioned to him publicly by us, and then articles written about him. I think that got into his head, and he just overplayed everything. Yes, he had 2 sacks, but the
So
first
is
half.
it funny though that Mo was like, "Oh, here's my criticism: is Francois Hogue not the rusher I was in my
No,
prime?"
not at all. He's a good rusher.
And I played it for Montreal's finest.
But he's a good rusher, but is he a Div 1 rusher? I don't think he is.
You know who was a Div 1 rusher? Oh God,
Every
that famous
season-
tip pass.
But
Every
Chris-
season, the
Chris
reason why
Meillard-
finest is not doing good is because they don't have a pass rush.
They have a
Yeah,
pass
but
rusher.
look, we went from Chris Meillard, who is Ferrari, to Toyota Tercel and Frank Hogue.
And they're going back to Chris Millard.
Yeah,
Is
Chris.
he coming back? What's your sources right now? What's the situation?
Millard or something?
In the
the source?
spring, Chris is going to play with the finest.
But we're talking about now, though.
Oh, for now, no.
Yeah,
like,
now
they're
it's
sticking
just
with
they-
Frank.
they
yeah.
can't
How come he didn't play with them this season?
They just never asked him, and even
Hot takes.
and
seems strange.
because Keyshawn put the team together, and Kevin trusted Keyshawn with the team. He said, but I spoke to Kevin, and he said, if I had known that we were missing guys, I would have told Justin and Chris to play with us. But Chris only wanted,
Justin
McLean.
McLean, okay.
but Chris only wanted to play on 2 teams, so he chose Top Sauce and You Can't
Which
Sit
is
With
fine
Us.
because he
Yeah.
knows. Those are his boys that are closer.
Exactly.
But
And Justin-
Justin McLean, if he's available, you take him over
But he
Jean-Christophe Morin Faneuf.
But that's the thing, is that Kevin didn't know that those guys were available, and he said if I had known, I would have went to get Justin for
I'm
sure.
just curious to who green lighted this whole Morin Faneuf and Frank Hogue
don't know.
additions.
Mo is very intense.
But they're going to be getting younger very soon.
They have to get younger though.
Mo-
They're
Mo
an old
said,
team.
he's vying for the general manager job. for
I am. I'm
Montreal's
John
finest.
Gruden right now, boys. Mike Mayock over here. But the
That's
thing
the worst
is,
combination of people.
it is
to be
awful,
working.
man.
I
It
know.
is awful. But
the other big game you saw,
yes,
D-Boys Braves.
Oh, that was man.
So the score,
Oh my
the final
God.
score, 36-28.
Not
does
indicative.
Not
indicative.
represent. Braves were up 3 scores and sort of stopped playing.
D-boys are in trouble.
Yeah. Yep.
They're in trouble.
But it's more than just roster inconsistency.
But how would it how crazy would it be? Let's say God Fat beats Montreal's finals next week.
Yes.
Let's just say, how crazy would it be to have
The 2 finalists on the
D
playoffs.
Boys and Montreal's finals
Not
not
in
make the
the-
playoffs?
But that's what everyone wants in Div 1, right? To have.
I mean, I don't know if I want them not in the
Okay.
playoffs. Like I want the 2 best quarterbacks.
So what I want for the finals is Braves San Moise. Because
Yes.
I watched it twice and it's an amazing game.
I
And
can imagine.
And honestly, I want Flagmore Sack to win a championship, and I feel like the window's closing.
yeah, well, at some point they're gonna stop playing. They're all popping babies left
But
and
that's why. That's the
right.
thing.
At some point. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a great. I think there are two best teams in Div 1 right now, and
Too many guys gonna be wearing false nipples.
and everybody wants the best teams to win the finals.
Yeah.
Like Finest is not the best team this season.
No,
They have the
but
best
but,
quarterback.
but in a best of one series,
No, not this season.
you never know.
I agree with Mo that if your Finest is the 6th seed
Yeah,
and they're playing the 3rd seed,
I
that's
think
they're not
it's-
the
I take them
underdog.
over the three.
but can they get beyond both Braves and Flagmore side?
They only
No.
need to beat one guy,
The-
right? Because
Maybe.
if they're the 6th seed, they play the 3rd seed,
unless someone
and
falls
then
to
they're
the
gonna play
three.
the 1st seed, and then they're in the finals,
But then in the finals they may face the other one.
or not. Yes, or not. But they'll still be in the finals.
So they can still face both of them. I'm saying.
to win
It's
the
just in the
championship.
order of how they'll face them
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
the question is. But right now, today, gentlemen, who's more likely to make it to the playoffs? Is it D-Boys or the Finest?
I think Finest still has the upper hand on D-Boys to make it to the finals, to
No,
make
but-
it to the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Just because, first of all, they have an extra win, so instead of being 2-5, they're 3-4. They have the tiebreaker. No, they don't. D-Boys won the last one.
By point differential now, right? Because they won one Finest and D-Boys won the other.
So if you're looking at it, Finest has an extra win. It's gonna matter because there's only 3 games left, and both teams are not playing super well. So I don't think either team is gonna finish the rest of the way 3-0. I think that they're both gonna lose some games, and the 3-7 will not make it into the playoffs this season. So D-Boys
Div 1.
needs to win 2 of the next 3 games.
But
Will they?
I don't know.
D-Boys have Waste Youth, Flying Marsac, Got Fat.
Okay, Flag must they lose. Got Fat, I think they'll get that. And then the Waste
But what does it
Youth-
matter if they only beat God Fat?
I think the Waste Youth game is the one that's going to determine.
That is the one because
Yep.
if they beat God Fat, the only game that like is tickling me a little bit is if Montreal's Finest lose to God Fat,
I'm hoping they kind of do.
because then it
that's
changes
good.
things.
That makes so much more interesting because
It
Got
make
Fat is in the 8 hole at the moment, but they're 2-4 with 4 games left.
Yeah, but who would have the tiebreak? Did they play each other twice, Got Fat or in Finest? I'm just trying to remember if they did
I
or
don't know.
not. I think they did. I remember Garrett barking at one of the guys. Maybe it was
They
last.
play Finest now. They haven't. No, that's the only game.
played them
So this is it right here. This is
They
going
have
to be.
they're ahead behind.
Yes.
They have
So
a game ahead
No,
behind.
no, because it's not a loss. They're-
Behind ahead.
Finest is ahead behind.
Yes.
No,
Why?
no, because they won. No, that doesn't work.
So Godfat have.
But and again, the game could be a win or a loss. It doesn't matter.
So D-Boys is ahead.
you can't time travel to change the result
so
anyway.
D-Boys is ahead behind of Waste Youth.
So Godfat have Montreal's
Waste
Finest, DK, D-Boys, and Waste Youth. They're gonna go 0-4.
Well, I think that the we're gonna have a better view of this after next week's games, as Finest plays D-Boy, Waste Youth plays D-Boys, and Goffat plays Finest.
Waste You is behind ahead.
Yes.
They have two.
I
They're
like how he uses it, and you still don't. So if
because it's dumb.
well, I think Waste You controls the whole cards of the bottom half of the playoff.
if Waste Youth's
so.
able to beat D-Boys this week, that puts D-Boys in a very tough spot. Waste Youth in a very manageable position to not be the 6th seed.
It's as crazy as it is. It's the most intriguing Div 1 like race for the last 2 spots.
It's the most interesting Division 1 has ever been.
Yes.
Not ever been. Well, at least recently.
The reason why, because the Finest are at its weakest. They're not
I
running
don't.
away.
See, I disagree because either way, Braves are a legit contender to the throne right now.
Yes.
Even
As
if
long as Fine.
fine, give them Chris Meillard, give them Justin McLean. I don't know that they're better than Braves.
I think they're in the top 3, top 2.
Yeah, that's not the
I
thing
don't
I'm
know
saying
if
though.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you can also say they're communist. It's not an answer to what I said.
Also,
They're right
Fine
wing,
Marsac
but, you know.
with who they have now, with Felix Prévost, with Mandram, with Sam
Morin
Nalopius,
Finef, yeah.
with
And that's what I'm saying. So
Nalopius, sorry.
Yeah,
Morin
with
Finef's killing me.
Nalopius
now.
and
So,
with
but that's
Mikael
the
Davidson, it's the best offense
yeah,
in FPF.
The reason why? Because they've played football together for the last 10, 12 years together.
and that's the thing is.
Yeah, but it's also the best QB in Div 1 with the best receiver core in Div 1 together.
yeah.
Nalopius at the moment today is playing better than Kevin White.
Yeah,
and
he
then
is,
you have
absolutely.
Monsters who So the record's
back
not
Robin
incredible, but they also didn't have Rod Mashta for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and
they get it
they're
back
still in
now.
a better spot
they're
than
2
Montreal's
weeks. They
Finest.
missed 2 weeks, no?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Because
They
they
get it
played-
back now.
'Cause
He's
we
back.
looked like idiots on the podcast.
Because he
We
played
thought
last
it'd be
week.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
He
but
played this week against Godfat and they won by 3 points in a very close game, which means that Godfat are actually not out of the playoffs because if they could compete with anybody, why not
so
this week?
DK Monster as a 3 seed right now. DK 3, Monster has 4. Monster has played one more game than DK. So are we going to give DK the number 3, or are we going to see?
No, not yet. I have no confidence in DK. I'm sorry. Every week sometimes they play really well, sometimes they make dumb mistakes and throw 3 interceptions.
But here's the thing, though, right? If we're talking about playoff matchups, I think the France would want to avoid Monstars. They don't match up well with them,
No,
but they
but
match
France
up well with
played
DK, though.
yeah.
But even though they lost to DK earlier this season, I think the France
For the first
would,
time ever.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. To me, the suckingness of Montreal's finest and D-Boys is not what makes Div 1 compelling this year. It's the fact that Braves are now becoming a true threat in FPF. The fact that Flag 1 Sack is finally have the best version of Flag 1 Sack.
Until they all go on vacation.
Monstars are here and they're challenging teams with their bizarre style. DK are always, a strong top tier team. So like, you look at that, and I haven't even mentioned, by the way, the guys who we consider arguably the top 3 quarterbacks in FPF in Wyeth, Masiotra, and Dan Lazara. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't even mention those guys because the rest of the teams are so much more engaging.
We're
right
also
now.
not talking about guys like Theo, who are probably the best 2-way player in FPF. But at this point, it doesn't matter because the other guys are so close behind that he's not.
So ahead behind, some would say.
No, that's not. Again, not how you use it. Division 2.
Games that caught your attention in Div 2, boys.
Terra Squad destroyed Alcoholics 43-12.
Yeah, but they're a mess, so Alcoholics.
Yeah, it's
a mess.
the Terror Squad is peaking at the right time, but Alcoholics though, like you said, it's weird.
Look at the roster assembly of that team for Alcoholics. These guys are all Division 3 players, Division 4A.
Well, except Paul. But the problem with this team is Paul cannot play in lower than Division 2 because of his quarterback rating.
Right.
Wants to play with his friends. Stuck in Division 2.
Okay, so the game that really caught the attention.
I think we got the same one.
Yeah,
Does it
no, I'm
involve
sure
my
we do.
last name?
What?
Does it involve my last name?
No.
Okay, you go.
Is
first.
your name Squad? Is it Mo Squad?
No.
Because I'm thinking Prospect Squad beating Killer Bees.
That's a big game for
That's an upset.
Prospect Squad.
That's a big upset.
Is it though?
I think so.
Well, so last week when you were here saying toss up,
Yeah.
in the corner just off camera, you
Same.
feel good.
I was here physically, but I was at the Bell Center working.
Same time.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're saying that like they can't have done much better than adding Mario Pareca.
No.
And now that he's learning how to use the weapons around him, and like Vincent Lazon is a good receiver, not a lot of guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And we see in this game, he has a big impact. 4 catches, gets a touchdown. It's not just Daniel Pierre doing the damage. He's using all the pieces
Alex
around him.
Roberge. And now, like, if you have Vincent Rozon as your 3rd or 4th receiver,
That's excellent.
it's yes. And with a guy like Mario Pareca that could actually use them right and hit guys on the cut, it's a better team than most people give them credit for. They will make the playoffs because this division is not very deep. And then we'll see what happens.
Braves 2.0 rocking Clockmakers.
That's not surprising.
It's becoming
Yeah,
a spiraling.
Clockmakers,
It's a mess now.
Yeah.
It's a mess, and what's going to happen, I don't know. And this is a team that the Clockmakers, that is, they don't pose as a threat to anybody in my book.
So Clockmakers apparently said that You Can't Sit With Us is them 3 years ago.
So they're saying Clockmakers are the present. You Can't Sit With Us from 3 years ago.
What?
No, they're saying that
So
we
so
are
much time
them.
travel.
Oh.
in this.
That You Can't Sit With Us is them 3 years ago. That's
So before they got old.
before they played with each other.
But I don't understand.
What does that mean though?
Because I don't know what it means. We're all the same age.
I think-
I
I
played
think what
football. I played football at Castner pretty much my entire life. We're the same exact age. Marco is the same age as everybody else. Kyle is the same age as Hollowak. Like I don't know.
But these guys in Clockmakers, you know what? I'm guessing they're saying that they're past their peak years of FPF.
They are.
But
Yeah.
aren't again same age is
Yeah.
the thing though.
I think it's just that they assumed that Ryan Kastner, who I always considered a top 5 quarterback in FPF, as that he would come into Division 2 and just do extremely
Rocket.
well, which he is doing well offensively.
No, he's not.
Sorry, I
He's
don't want to
hurt,
say
though.
well.
He's
yeah,
hurt.
he's
We're
always
told.
hurt though.
He is?
He's hurt.
There's always something with Ryan, and he's like. So I think it's they thought that going from D1 to D2 with the receiving core that they have, which is very good, Kiroak, Kyle, and Marco, you can't get better than that.
I
those
think
three.
it's the wrong pieces for his offense.
It's
Yeah,
the
I
wrong
think it's
pieces
just-
for his offense.
It is.
Ryan's not the right
It
fit.
is.
That
No.
team is good, but Ryan doesn't
Very
work.
good team.
And they would have been better off.
Individually, they're a very good team.
Yeah, they would have been better off with someone else at quarterback.
Also
Even if he's not as
the
good.
the past tense of Clockmakers, You Can't Sit With Us, winning 43-25. We got Terry in studio. Maybe we'll break down that game.
Hey, let's
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
you bring it
about
on. Let's go.
So before the
Very-
game, Terry on the sideline talks to me. He's like, "So I'm 11 yards from 5,000 yards."
5K, baby.
So I
Amazing.
so
Now
so I
4
so I
yards.
told him I'm scorekeeping the game, so you better have 6 catches because they're all gonna be 1 yarders. He's like, "You can do that, dude. Come on." I told him. So Vinny Golan was next to me. So first play of the game, I'm looking at Vinny and I said, looking at Nighthawks defense and who they had, and you can sit with us and who they had. I said, there is no way that Alex Holloway has an incomplete in this game. It's a perfect game. First play hits Terry Time straight in the chest, dropped. It's like, well,
Drops.
there you go. That's how.
what was the
how it
second?
happens.
What was the second play?
So second play also drop.
D ball to Vince.
Yeah, it wasn't to you. Vince out of the 40-yard line and like hit him on the hip and he dropped it. So
Not even. It was right in his hands.
So I turned around. I was like, so maybe Alva's not kind of a perfect game. Anyways, they managed the drive. Out of all the targets that Terry Tam had,
2 targets. 3 targets.
4. One of them was an extra point that didn't count for yardage.
Oh,
So then 3 targets.
count.
For the purpose of this
Two
conversation.
drops that would have given him more than 11 yards.
And a touchdown.
He got that one catch for 7 yards. So sorry, Terry.
So my
Next week.
question is, though,
On to week 8.
when Terry makes that benchmark catch to go over
I had a speech
5,000.
ready.
He
Fourth
was
that-
so, he
hold
was
on,
so
hold on.
ready.
So hold on here.
I was gonna call a timeout. I
That's
was gonna
that.
tell
That
the
is the
refs.
dare for you in your next game that you will play because you'll get 5,000 receiving yards in your career.
Yeah,
I dare
Once
you
you
to
put
call
up
a
a goose
timeout
egg.
I'm gonna do it.
and wave to the crowd, shake the referee's hand.
If next
Pick up the flags.
yeah.
Mo will hand you a Sharpie. Sign the ball.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
using.
no, I'm serious.
Who are we playing?
Yeah, tell me who
Terry,
you're playing.
you need to stop at 4 yards. Exactly
'Cause-
4 yards.
We're playing Alcoholics this week, but I'm not there.
Okay, so when's your next game that you will be physically there?
Terror Squad.
What day is that?
It is March 9th, Saturday.
So it's next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Where in Brossard?
It is Lachine. Always Lachine.
Oh crap! Okay, never mind. So I was gonna. The idea for you is to make that 4-yard catch, wave, call a timeout, high five your buddies, shake the opponent's hand, say thanks a lot for the congratulations, and give the ball to your wife, and then get back to the game.
I'll walk out. I'm retiring.
No, but if, can we hire some like little kids so you can hug the kids? Say, hey, there's Terry's kids.
Pictures.
The kids.
What do we do? So Terry, go on Facebook garage sale and write an ad saying we need kids.
There's a whole bunch of kids that run
I
around.
don't know. Use Eagles.
I'm not even
account
gonna
for that.
Google that.
Use Eagles account.
So one of the chirpiest game I've seen in a long time was NR against Bad Boys.
You know, okay, and I have a question for that.
Jermaine was going off, man. Like
He,
you know how Jermaine feeds off like the energy in the game,
he does.
and he just gets more and more.
Yeah.
Man, he was rattling Bad Boys bad, and like nothing, like pure trash talk. And if you've seen Jermaine play, it's never physical. He's always clean. He's a nice guy, but he gets under people's skins, man. And Bad Boys was struggling.
They were, and I think they're just missing a couple of game breakers on that roster. I mean, Ryan Reede isn't really. I mean, I love Ryan, but he's not going to be a threat to the NR defense.
The problem is
Ryan slandered my name.
they had some.
How
They
so?
had, they had a few plays. They had chances.
They had a chance to win. They could have won that game.
That one drop by Nick Carson in the corner of the
Yeah.
end zone that she in triple coverage.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
but
somebody must have been open,
yeah, someone was open.
but it did hit Nick in the hands.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
So here's a question for you, Mike Asari, aka Prince Copperfield, aka Mike Zimmy. Is he the best defensive back in Div 2? I think he is.
The best defensive back.
I think he is.
He's up there. I don't think.
I think
he's
he's
the
the
best
best.
defensive back.
I really think he is the. What's that look for? Vince Nardone's the best guy. Who you got? GM.
No, I'm not. I'll never say Vince. Why would I say Jim? Jim doesn't play in
I know. I'm just saying that by association.
No, I don't think he's the best.
So
at
who's
all.
better than him?
the best defensive back.
I think he is. He's
he's
locked
up there.
down. He locked down Nick Arsolam. Schnard shied away from throwing to his side.
To me,
That's impressive.
Nick Hum is the best player in FPF. So whatever you want to say,
But I'm
best,
talking about specifically though. I'm not talking about all around
PB.
it's
Well,
tough, man.
defense because he only plays defense.
Yeah, that's true. He's
mean-
a very good player. I'm not saying that. I just don't
Yeah.
see him.
I think he's the best right now.
I don't know, man.
do you
Mike
think?
Zimmy, that's his name. That's not his real name.
Well,
I gave the other names before.
yeah, but I don't know.
Prince Copperfield?
Listen, he's very good, but I don't think he's the best. I mean, there's a lot of good guys in Division 2. Theo's playing
I
Division
was
2.
gonna say, are we forgetting Theo J plays for STL? Or?
He's very good.
AJ's also a good
But
defender.
I view
AJ Gomes.
Theo's a Div 1
No,
guy.
AJ's
right?
not that good of a defender.
Oh boy, he's upstairs by the way.
I know.
Are you kidding me? What's going on here, Terry?
So
Speaking
excluding guys that play in Division 1.
No. Everybody. We said Division 2, not
No,
excluding.
I'm not saying Div 1, Div 2.
Oh,
Wait,
only so
so
the guys
only
who
guys
don't
that
play
Only Div 2,
Division
yeah.
three.
Only Div 2.
that
yeah.
takes a lot of guys out. That takes Nick Casanova
Yeah,
out.
that's
That
what I'm
takes.
saying.
Okay,
So
then yes.
so Mike Zimmy, I would put him up there for sure, top 5.
I think if he's in Div 1, he's very good, but I think he's the best in Div 2.
I think we could talk about Kyle Lebowski. I think we can talk about
He's better than Lebowski.
Even teammate Travis Moses, I think, is up there.
Travis Moses, very good
Yeah,
shutdown
but
corner.
what I've seen from Mike this season, he's been special.
Yeah, he's very
this at this
I'm
moment.
saying I'm saying guys who are in the
Matt
same
Bond?
realm, right?
No, he's better than Matt Bond. Matt Bond,
Bond plays the one.
Doesn't he? Yeah, I was gonna say. doesn't he-
yeah, he plays one, but even in Div 2, I think he's better than Matt Bond.
So
If I exclude Division 1 players, yeah, I think you're on. I think you're right.
Is Vinny Galano playing Div 1?
no.
Vinny's not a better cover corner than Mike
Cover,
Zimmy.
but general defender.
Very good defender, Vinny,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
not as good as him.
so who said this, though? Dan Lazara, he isn't a Hall of Fame player. Not yet, at least.
I mean, we know. So
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh wow, that would be sick though. You would be so
Theo
hyped that you
J.
said his name.
Theo
It's like imagine
J.
you get a text from Kobe Bryant. Like,
Theo J.
Ooh, after last game?
After the SCL controversy game on Wednesday night.
That was
at
a
Ibarra.
solid game yesterday.
Now, we were all there. Well, Peeze was somewhere
was
else.
playing.
Peeze was playing somewhere. And
Terry was there.
You-
he's just winning.
yeah, Peeze was winning. So Terry, Simone, and I were there watching the game.
Mhm.
Man, does Dan Lazara have a thin skin, boy. You just kiss him and he's like, "Man, bro, what is that, referee?"
So okay.
Tell us, Simone.
So Dan wasn't wrong. I don't say this often, but Dan wasn't wrong. There was a lot of calls that didn't go his way. So out of the potentially what he believes was 4 roughing the passer,
He counted them.
after the game he told me I got hit 4 times.
Okay.
There was one that got Terrence Adams a UR. So we'll take that one out completely. There was one that I believe should have also been a UR that wasn't
On
called.
who? On
Terrence,
Terrence.
yeah.
Okay, so you said 2 yards. Okay.
But then if he gets the first UR, I don't think the second one happens because he's not going to get himself kicked out of the game.
Right.
And there was one that was very 50-50. Like to me, it looked okay, but I was also very far. So, so he did get roughed up a bit. But then is that Terrence's plan all along? Because he didn't do anything that was gonna hurt Dan directly. Like he's not punching him in the gut. He's not hurting him physically. He's disrupting him to a point where Dan was rattled and got taken out of his own
That's
game.
the key word. Rattled.
Yeah. So if that happens and you're able to do that as a rusher, is that the best way to rush?
All
Dan
right, so here's a
Lazara?
quote for you. The way he kept on falling down, it looked like he was wearing the Zion Williamson shoe. Who said that?
Zion Williamson. Also, it wasn't Zion Williams' shoe because he's not allowed to have a shoe named after him because NCAA. That was the garbage PG 2.5 shoes.
Yes.
If you wear that, Jesus Christ, Duke, what's wrong with you? You're wearing the most trash ass shoes.
one of the top selling shoes.
Terrible. The garbage.
Okay, so who said that?
Terrence Adams.
Of
Oh,
course,
right,
Terrence said
down
that.
Lazara.
Of course, Terrence said that.
So Terrence is known to be a very dirty player.
That was the thing I was going to say next. Is how does the call not happen just on reputation?
Well, because
Brendan
first of all, you
Gallagher
shouldn't call that on repetition.
So is the sorry?
You shouldn't do that.
Correct. How long have you been playing FPF?
Well, so the
So is this a battle of reputations?
yeah. So the problem was with I think the first play of the game, there was what I believe was a hold against Theo on like a 5-yard play. Like it wasn't a big thing, but the problem is the way these two teams play is if you don't call it that, then you're not gonna call shit, and then we're gonna abuse that. Right?
But also, I think it's the referees being familiar with Terrence Adams. I don't think those two referees are familiar with Terrence Adams and what he does.
I think both referees didn't really care who was playing. It's just like we'll call it the way we see it, and that's all.
So yeah, so I don't think referees specifically say, "Oh, there's this guy, I gotta watch out." It's because in the back of their mind, the reputation remains there. Now, likewise, like a young Marco Mastiotro once had, Dan Lazara also has a reputation of referees.
Of course,
So
And-
is
and-
it perhaps
it clashes.
that, you know what, unless it's super obvious, meh.
It clashes because on one side you have a guy that complains all the time, and on the other side you have a guy that we all kind of know is going to do something, get himself. He's going to get a flag at some point in this game. Is it going to be UR? I don't think so.
talking about Terrence or talking about
Yeah,
Dan?
Terrence. I don't think it's going to be UR, but I think it's going to get a roughing at some point, or like a contact the passer for 5 yards. Right? I don't think.
Yeah,
it's-
no.
right? The UR was dirty
It's like
It
an
was dumb.
NBA player who has a like Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, the late Anthony Mason, right?
They're gonna get technicals until
They
the last
will,
one.
but they'll
for
rough it
sure.
up. Like they're like the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons teams, right? They'll just rough you up until you're right. Someone calls a UR OC on them.
But
They don't care.
Yeah, but the worst part is that the UR was very dirty. So Dan was running, like he juked him, started running towards the line of scrimmage, threw the ball and sort of like bent it forward, and Terrence put both his hands on his back and just shoved it to the ground.
So is
Super
Della
dumb.
So, but what happened afterwards was that the reaction that he got from Dan, because he got his UR, didn't say anything, walked away from the field. But Dan almost got himself a OC because he couldn't calm down.
So is Della
To be honest, though, like personally, I hate being hit from behind. I hate
Yes.
being hit low. Like it's,
Sure,
it's
no.
one of those things where I see red as
That-
well. I
that
understand
play-
where he's coming from.
That play was more than a UR to me.
So
Because
in-
it's so unnecessary and
Honestly,
so
like
potentially violent.
and dangerous. Like honestly, there you can kick a guy out of the game.
So I'll ask you this
100%.
question, Terry. I want you, you two, Terry, you can come in this conversation as well.
Okay, I'll say thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
No worries. So the gathering of information about Dan Lazare, is he a whiner? Yes or no?
Danny is a whiner when it doesn't go his way. Like after the game, running towards the refs, trying to yell at them. If it wasn't for his teammates pulling him away, he probably would have made the situation even worse.
Okay.
We all love Danny. He's very passionate. He wants to do
Yes,
well
he
in this
is.
league. He's a great guy. I don't think anybody.
But
can
is
say
he a
anything.
prisoner of his own mind?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think that he was actually. I'm surprised that they actually came back in that game because they were down like 27-12 at half,
Right.
and then I'm surprised they
Yeah.
actually came back and made a game out of it because normally Dan will be completely checked out.
All right,
That-
Peeze, is he a whiner? Yes or no?
Like I said, he reminds me of when I started playing FPF, what Marco's reputation was. A guy will complain, and I think that'll change. I don't think it's a long-term thing, but I think he's in that phase of his FPF. He's very concerned with needing to prove himself, so much so that it's becoming an overwhelming pressure,
Right.
and that's why that's why he's the passion that Terry described becomes a complainathon.
Becomes a negative
Yeah.
conclusion, which should be a positive conclusion for him.
I've been there, and I think we've all been there, where you don't get a call your way, and you complain and you bitch and you moan, whatever.
But it
But
sticks
there's-
with you, though.
It
Because
sticks 100%. It stuck with me for a full year after I ruined Wally, like verbally abused him.
yeah.
And it stuck with me for a long time. I that night I even apologized to him, but it doesn't change. I'm not going to get the calls in those games anymore because I did that, and he doesn't understand that. I think that he lets his emotions get the better of him. After the game is over. The call's not going to change. The player's not going to get suspended. He's not gonna
Imagine
get
be
an
like,
additional
yo,
UR.
sorry, Dan, you're right. Mo, change the score.
Yeah.
38-35.
So walk
All right,
away.
perfect.
It's still we're still trying to have fun. We want to have recreation. You're still in the playoffs. Just play the rest of the
All
game.
right,
Your
Simone.
team is pretty good.
Whiner, yes or no?
Yeah, the problem is he was right, but like Terry said, it won't change anything. Complaining won't make it better. It might let you unwind a little bit, but the problem is it gives you a bad reputation. And then the next time, if the same game happens next week, so we have the exact same matchup, we have the same referees because they're going to ref on a Wednesday night again, on the same field at the same time. They're going to come in before the first snap of the game thinking this guy's going to bitch about every single call. So
Right.
whether I make it or not, he's going to complain. So what's the point of making it?
Also,
And if you start with that mentality, then you're putting yourself in a hole to be before the game even begins.
So am I weird? I have refs that I like irritating.
yeah, of course.
Like the specific
You
referees.
of all people.
And I've been called on it by a referee who realized that's what I was doing. But like I'm not doing it like
Intentionally.
no, I'm doing it intentionally.
But
I'm not doing it to
obviously,
be mean. I'm like I feel like these refs specifically need to be challenged and then I
you
do
know
it.
what? I think there are some refs who have
His name
Agenda.
rhymes with Bondre.
agendas with players. I think that's pretty evident.
I think it is too, but you're not going to change the rule, and there's ways to
no.
go about it, right? If Dan
no.
went up to them, got dressed, went up to the refs, and said, "Hey guys, on those, what did you see? Because he hit me 3 times and he pushed me from behind. What did you see, so I can know?"
See, that's
That's
what.
But this is the
There's ways to
after
ask.
steam.
There's
No,
ways
but
to
the-
ask.
It's an after steam effect of him trying to, get his frustration out and vent it towards the 2 officials in zebra stripes.
And he's also being told all game that he's not a Hall of Fame quality by Theo. He's being chirped by Terrence, being chirped by Dylan.
Terrence chirped him, but Theo didn't say much during the game itself. After the
Theo
game,
was only talking during the
Yeah.
game. You just couldn't see it because he had his thing covering his mouth, but he was talking the entire
Well,
game.
the quote, man.
It's a great quote.
It's a
at
great
the,
quote.
at the end of the game. But to his credit, AJ Gomes in this game did exactly that. He came up to me and the referees after the game, very calm, and just asked very politely, like, "I don't understand what happened, because if this happens again, I want
Yeah,
have some
and-
situation, which is the right thing to do.
But he's also on a caution because he knows that if he blows up, he's going to be suspended already. Like,
Oh, he knows, but
so
again,
he's
that's
gotta
the
be
right thing to do.
careful.
He was very calm.
Yeah,
Didn't say
for
anything
sure.
out of line.
All right, boys. It is now time for
Games of the
All right,
week.
here we go.
Let's
Games of the week, boys.
Let's go home. So, so Division 1 first, I guess.
Yeah.
Come to Bert.
Do we do all the games?
Yes.
So, Got Fat Finest in Brossard, Saturday, 11 o'clock.
My heart
Yeah.
wants got fat, but I can't pick
Yeah,
against finest in
I got
this
the
one.
finest one in this game.
Finest as well.
Waste
It's
Youth,
boring.
D-Boys, and Lachine, 11 o'clock, Sunday.
Waste Youth. I think Waste Youth wins this one.
Yeah.
Despite all the things we just said about Della.
Waste Youth.
It's a
I think
no,
Waste
but
Youth
it's
wins
not
this
the same
one.
team.
Nah, D-Boys win this game.
It's not the same team.
Yeah.
And Dan has been playing much better in Div 1, and I really like Waste Youth this season.
Waste you.
Braves, DK. That's a nice game.
Give me Braves.
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 Flagmore Sack, Monstars.
Fly my side.
I want to go Monsters so bad, but Flywheel Sack's just ridiculous this season.
Division 2, do we do all the games?
Yeah, go for it.
Braves 2.0, SYO. With Christian
Braves.
Sarantola, who told me I don't call plays.
Braves.
What?
He said he doesn't call plays.
What does that mean?
It means he doesn't call plays.
Is he the quarterback?
He's the quarterback.
That's bizarre. So give me definitely.
So I asked him because he filled in for Fun Boys with me, and I asked him, I go, how's it going with SYO? He goes, I don't really call any plays. Maybe somebody else calls them.
That doesn't work either.
Never. Alcoholics, STL.
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 Killer Bees, you can't sit with us. No,
you
hey,
can-
ready for this? No Papich, no Terry, no Vince. We added Frank Delorier and Kenton Lowe.
Let's go Frank Delaurier. You can sit with us.
Who are you guys playing against?
Killer Bees.
It's a good week to miss.
Yeah.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, you can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us needs a loss, though. I will say that. We can't go into the playoffs.
Yeah, but
undefeated. We're gonna lose in the
although-
first round. Controversy, Terror Squad.
Controversy.
Yeah, give me controversy.
Yeah,
Controversy.
I think so too.
Oh, it's boring, guys.
Hey, boys,
King's
someone want a
Landing.
free coffee.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Terry, it's
So
yours.
it's mine, right?
Yeah.
King's Landing, Prospect Squad.
Give me Prospect Squad.
King's Landing.
I kind of like what's going on in Prospect Squad.
Give me Prospect Squad. I don't like what's happening with Kings
You
Landing.
guys are just Sean Abram haters.
We're not Sean Abram. We're Sean Abram truthers.
Or we're Mara Parekka lovers.
Yeah, we like Mario Pareca.
Who'll be in the Hall of Fame first, Mario Pareca or Sean Abram?
Sean. I'll tell you this, you'll lose a very loyal customer if that happens, if Mario Pareca goes in first.
Well, you also,
Hey.
But we'll gain a very loyal Mario Pareca.
there you go.
he also said
Bad-
that about Joey, and he's still here.
No, he jokes around. Bad Boys and Clockmakers.
Bad boys.
Clockmakers.
Really?
I think
No,
yeah,
Bad Boys.
I'm with Mo on this. I think Clockmakers.
Oh, I give this guy 2 noses.
Nighthawks and NR.
NR.
And our
NR.
Yeah.
NR. Not even close.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, match words, please.
Ghost Pepper McChicken.
Good
What?
night.
Ghost Pepper McChicken.
Yeah, it came out.
Silly.
I'm not gonna eat it, but it
The
came
ghost
out.
pepper is dangerous, bro.
I'm tired.
I like Ghost Pepper.